Namaste and welcome to our channel, Indian History and Culture. We all know the civil disobedience movement that was launched by Gandhi with great outcomes and great success, particularly the Dandi March or the Salt Satyagraha. But the movement was withdrawn in 1934. The second phase had been a miserable failure compared to the success of the first phase. But in 1934, challenges to the Gandhian leadership were beginning to emerge. The foundation of the Congress Socialist Party, of the young radicalized socialist youth, and at the same time, a declaration issued from Europe by Subhash Chandra Bose and Vittal Bhai Patel stating that Gandhi as a leader has failed, put in a new pressure on Gandhi and his methods. Now, what did Gandhi do? Where did Congress head eventually in the 1930s and 40s politics? Let us try to understand this. Now, in 1934, when Vittal Bhai Patel and Subhash Chandra Bose put this question, Gandhi was deeply hurt. But let us first try to understand who Vittal Bhai Patel was. Vittal Bhai Patel was a veteran Congress leader. He had participated in numerous Congress activities in the decades earlier, and he was the elder brother of Vallabh Bhai Patel or Sardar Patel. Vittal Bhai Patel had become radical with passing age. He was in Europe for medical treatment, where Subhash Chandra Bose incidentally was also there. Both of them came together and believed that if Congress had to go on a more radical path and liberate India, it had to let go of the traditional Gandhian methods, that these methods perhaps would not be useful to liberate India from the colonial bondage, and hence made that declaration. Bose eventually would return to India and take on the Congress leadership from within the Congress. In 1936 and 1937, Congress again got Jawaharlal Nehru as its president, a young, dynamic, socialist-inclined leader who came to the top. Subhash Chandra Bose believed that since his philosophy, his ideology was closely in tune with that of Nehru, changes in leadership, changes in methods and ideology would come within the Congress. But that did not happen. In 1938, at the Haripura session of the Indian National Congress, it was Subhash Chandra Bose who emerged as the president. And with him becoming the president, he set in motion the changes that he wanted in the Congress organization, as well as the idea of India that was to be. He introduced the National Planning Committee. Now, whenever we talk about the Planning Commission in the post-independence India, what is today called as the Niti Aayog, we usually credit it to Jawaharlal Nehru. It was not so. In fact, it was in 1938 when Subhash Chandra Bose was the president that the National Planning Committee was set up. It was he who set it up. And the chairman of that committee was Jawaharlal Nehru. The planning committee was to plan the future economic and social development of India. So in a way, we see the vision of Subhash Chandra Bose, that he was planning what kind of India would be there once it is created as an independent nation. Much before India's independence, the planning was afoot as to what kind of economy, what kind of society and polity India would have in the future. But this also put him directly in contrast with the Gandhian economic ideology. Subhash Chandra Bose believed in socialism. He believed in the heavy industrialization model. He believed in a strong, dominant public sector, something that went against the Gandhian beliefs. He also openly challenged many of the Gandhian notions of freedom struggle. So the question when it came as to who will be the president for the next session in 1939, Gandhi did not have Subhash Chandra Bose in mind. But Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to contest the upcoming elections for the Tripuri session of 1939. That set the path and the ball rolling for a historic clash between Subhash Chandra Bose and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. When the question of the presidential elections for the Congress comes up prior to India's independence, it was not actually an election, in the sense that it usually would be one prominent individual who would contest the elections, and more or less unanimously a choice would be made that yes, he or she has to be the next president of the Congress. Now that prominent individual or leader would be chosen and given the blessings by Mahatma Gandhi. So in a way, his candidature or her candidature would have to be endorsed by Gandhiji. Without that, success in the presidential elections of the Congress would not be possible. So in a way, Gandhi was choosing who would be the next president. It was not the Congress people. The exception is 1939, when Subhash Chandra Bose decided to contest the elections going against the Gandhian wishes. Gandhi handpicked and chose a typical traditional Gandhian leader to contest this election in the form of Pitabhi Sitaram Maiya, pitted against a more young, a more radical and perhaps more popular leader in the form of Subhash Chandra Bose. Gandhi stated openly through the media as well as on public platforms is that a vote for Pitabhi is a vote for me. So in a way, trying to say that if you are voting for Pitabhi Sitaram Maiya, you are endorsing the Gandhian plan and the Gandhian methods of freedom struggle. On the other hand, Subhash Chandra Bose moved with his election campaigning. Bose's victory in the 1939 Tripuri session election, though a remarkable one, was not the easiest task to accomplish. In fact, this set him on a path of clash, more importantly, with the Gandhians. This was the arduous task that had to be taken. Gandhians started a boycott and non-cooperation against Subhash Bose's leadership of the Congress. Many Gandhians, including Sardar Patel, Rajendra Prasad and others, boycotted the Congress Working Committee and eventually resigned from it. But was this only a professional rivalry in which it was a clash of ideas, ideologies, methods of Subhash Chandra Bose with the Gandhians like Patel? Or was there something more to it? For this, we'll have to go a little back. We began this session with saying that Vittalbhai Patel and Subhash Chandra Bose had come together criticizing Gandhian leadership and demanding a change, and stated that Vittalbhai Patel was the elder brother of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Now, in fact, Vittalbhai Patel did not live for a very long time after 1934. And in his will, he stated that all of his property, movable and immovable, should be given to Subhash Chandra Bose, and that this value that he gets will be used for the cause of the Indian nation and the Indian people. Now, this is a remarkable thing, that Vittalbhai Patel had left his property not to his immediate family or his brothers or nephews or others, but he had given a substantial part of it to Subhash Chandra Bose and for the nation's cause. Sardar Patel had also filed a case against this, and the hearings were going on in the Bombay High Court. So you have Bose pitted against Sardar Patel not only on the Congress platform but also at a personal platform. The Bombay High Court eventually gave a verdict in favor of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and the other Patel family members. But this was not on the grounds that the will was disputed. This was on the grounds that the British government and the judiciary felt that the money which was being left by Vittalbhai Patel would be used against the imperial government if it was given to Subhash Chandra Bose. Hence, it was given to the Patel family household. So you have different angles which were involved in this historic clash between Subhash Chandra Bose and the Gandhians. Now, eventually, the Congress came to a point where perhaps there would be one more split in the hierarchy and in the organization. Could the national movement benefit from such a split? The answer was a definite no. Subhash Chandra Bose at this point let go his personal ambitions, the humiliation that he had suffered at the hands of the Gandhians, and decided to act in the benefit of the Congress party, organization and the people of India by deciding to step down from the post of the president. He resigned from that position. He eventually did continue to work within the Congress. He also formed a group to bring like-minded people, communist, socialist, left-inclined leaders, liberal leaders through the Left Consolidation Committee. He also formed the All India Forward Bloc within the Congress organization to steer the Congress towards a more radical and socialist path of Indian nationalism. But Subhash Chandra Bose would take a different journey, a more arduous one, a more courageous one. and definitely a more rebellious one when he eventually went outside India to establish the Liberation Army of India. But more on that later. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's session, and also keep liking, sharing and reposting our videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Indian History and Culture. Thank you.